Welcome, guys, to the newest episode of Yougrindpodcast. I have here
Christian.
Who are you?
I am a civilian.
Civilian. Okay. Okay. Other than that,
Just a person just trying to find his way, like most people are.
Go more into
Let's see. I mean, by trade, I work more in the solar industry.
Okay.
A lot of electrical experience and just trying to make a difference and bring a difference to the world.
Before that, let's take it back to your childhood. Tell me a little bit about that.
I really love my childhood. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a really safe area in the sense that I'll be able to walk home from school and my friends would be right next door, right across the street. So from 6 years old probably till like 13, 14, I would play outside every single day till the street lights came on, and that's the telltale sign you got to go home now.
Did you hoop or like?
I played sports my whole life. I played soccer, but around my friends, we made up our own games. We went fishing. We played basketball. There was like 5 of us, so we always were never too bored. And luckily, their families have become like my second families, like my second mothers.
Sounds like you had a good childhood, which isn't always the case for people.
Yes.
But I'm glad you did.
Thank you.
Yeah, I lived in Concord my whole life. It's a pretty safe neighborhood. Pretty nice place to have a family. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else in the world other than in the Bay Area because it's beautiful here. The weather, the people, the culture. I mean, it's just beautiful. Other than the prices.
Yeah, well, could definitely be worse. I think Concord is definitely a great area. If I were to go somewhere, Concord would be a place I would highly consider.
Yeah, definitely. It probably beats LA. Not that I'm bitter or anything.
Yeah, I probably would not consider LA.
Yeah.
Unless an amazing opportunity was there for me. Yeah, no.
Kind of like San Francisco. Like, I like San Francisco to work. I wouldn't want to live there, though.
Yeah, same. I was just there yesterday. It's really fun. I love all the culture and the different things to see and do there, but it was created a long time ago when people were much more smaller, so I wouldn't really be too comfortable there either. I like my space.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's too crowded. Again, I haven't been all over San Francisco, just kind of like downtown. It's mainly for work and stuff, but from where I have experience, hanged out with friends or whatever, it's not the lifestyle I'm used to. I'm more like chill, suburb kind of girl. That's just me though. Everybody gets used to their lifestyle, whatever that may be. Okay. So, anything else?
About what?
Yourself.
Anything in particular? I could go on and rant about myself. I mean, I'm a very unique person. I'm the youngest of my family. I have one older brother.
So you're the fucking brat.
I'm definitely the black sheep of the family.
You're not the brat, you're the black sheep.
Yeah, the black sheep.
The youngest and the black sheep. Tell me more about that.
Well, let's just say 2 siblings could be doing the same thing. One may get yelled at, one will get grounded for it.
Yeah.
You know, I was always the one that got a little bit harsher with the punishment.
There was 2 of you guys?
Yeah, I had an older brother and love him to death, but, you know, I call him the golden child because he could do no wrong. And
Same. But I was a middle child. So I had to be like my older sibling and be a role model for the younger one. And I was in her shadows a lot of the time, but later on in life, I figured that, we're too different to compare to be, even in the same room, we're so different, But definitely the golden child she was.
It's funny how I find siblings growing up. I'm much more closer with my brother now as we are older and adults, moved out and came back together. I see things differently now than as we were growing up. You know, you could be in someone's space too much, you know, always there, and it's easy to get on someone's nerves and kind of would fight and argue sometimes. But I really love our relationship now. It's gotten so much more better as I've gotten older.
Good. Because mine drifted very, 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 very much. So I haven't spoken to her in, I would say, years. But you either drift apart or you get closer. And I guess, I don't know. There's a lot of factors into it. But it's a beautiful thing when you can see how you mature. You know, you mature and you understand each other and you become more closer because of it. That's not always the case, though. But, yeah, that's life. So, career-wise, what you doing?
Right now, I work in the solar industry. I would really like to get my hands in the electrician kind of field because that's where a lot of my experience is too. And I've kind of fallen upon this industry, and during COVID, my dad's always kind of pushed me to kind of work with my hands because it's something that he really enjoys, and he think that for my personality, I'd really enjoy it too. And he was right. I really enjoy working with my hands. There's a sense of satisfaction you get from creating something. You know, I sleep really good. My attention to detail is really high. So I got noticed really quickly for my talents and everything. And when I was working in solar, I was in charge of the crews and overseeing the detail and the quality control of the work.
When you first started working with your hands, what exactly were you making?
What, like, as starting out?
Huh?
Like
starting out. Yeah.
Starting out, so I started in solar industry during COVID time in 2020. So as an apprentice installer for the small mom and pop little solar company, I was an installer and operations assistant.
Okay, tap me into what you would do when you're doing those jobs. Like, does it require like installing things? Does it require repairing things? What? Give me a little glimpse into your life in that time.
Well, during that time, my time was not typical because I was kind of pushed into the deep end and was sink or swim. And luckily, I had the right support around me to swim and thrive. My person who taught me solar, his name is Brandon. Great guy. I'm still in touch with him to this day. You know, I consider him my friend, and was just a really great patient teacher. And I passed on what he taught me onto others.
Right. But when you say solar, I don't have a slight idea of what it looks like. Like, take me into like what a day would look if I went in with you to work.
If I went in with me to work, and let's say we're going to be on part of the cruise. Well, the first thing is, you know, we're going to assume since we're going out there, the crews are going out to the job. The job's already been sold. The engineers already took a look at it. Permitting has already been done. So what we're doing now is we're going to fit all the Lego pieces on the roof. So first thing up, I'm going to go set up the ladder, you know, safety. I'm usually the first one up the roof, last one down. We do a layout, kind of doing with some chalk and crayons, a rough visualization of where everything is going to be placed and seeing how everything is going to fit. It's really important because you don't want to be in the middle of an install and realize this is way over the side of the ridge, over the edge. It's not going to pass the job. One looks really ugly, and you know, Pauline's going to call you back if that's the kind of work you're putting out. Yeah. So I would have you, of course, you have your harness, safety, ropes up. We would do measuring tape, measure it all out, see if we could fit the entire system in. If we can, then we would start locating rafter points, penetrations, sealants, and then we got to put in our racking system, depending on if there's rails or rail-less systems, because I worked on both. But yeah, it's a very tedious job. You definitely want someone who's passionate about what they're doing, especially when they're working on your roof, because they could cause some trouble. Yeah. So we would be up there for hours, Jeanette. It's gonna be hot. in the summertime is not a good time to learn because no one wants to spend all day up there. That's a time we're gonna get up there, start early, and we're gonna finish early. The best time to learn and do solar would be in the winter time because things are cooling off and you have opportunity to slow down, have a person take their time to teach you. In the summer, it's kind of not that way because if it's like 90 degrees up here, like outside weather, it could be like 120, 130 on the roof. Those tiles really cook. So that's where it gets really dangerous because you can't work on there for too long because your feet will burn. If you're laying down to do some wire management, through your clothes, you'll burn. You're in the sun all day long, but you wear long sleeves to protect yourself from, just overexposure to the sun and stuff. And there's opportunities for you to make some mistakes and hurt yourself.
Would you do it even if it's raining?
Light rain. It's really depending on everyone's in charge of their own lives. I feel like if they feel unsafe or unsure, I want everyone to speak up. I would never tell someone to do something that I'm not comfortable doing. But of course, when things are, it's raining on us like heavy, we're getting off the roof. We're not gonna work in that. We're gonna take a break and wait till things clear up.
Okay.
Safety first.
Of course, safety first. Never question safety. What is the hardest thing you have ever had to face, either personally or career-wise?
Realization of how the world actually is, I would say. I've learned quite a few life lessons in my life that's put me on different paths. And, I've always was taught honesty is really big, but I realized in the work world that's not always the case. Some people unfortunately do lie, they do cheat, they do steal to get to the top, and it's something you need to be aware of because when I was working for a bigger company, I could kind of see the politics in play, how people would be looking for reasons to get each other in trouble. It wasn't kind of hostile work environment.
Yeah.
Get someone out to move yourself up. Not every place is like that. Not every place is like that, but yeah, luckily I wasn't in that environment for too long because I'm a really direct person. If I call bullshit out, I did, and I did call someone out for their bullshit and what they were doing. It was an ordeal, but nothing came of it. We all went away and walked away happy from it, and hopefully he learned his lesson. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, you talking about this reminds me of the statement, life's not fair, Jeanette. Life's not fair. Life's supposed to be fair, but it really fucking isn't. So there's a lot of favoritism going on. There's a lot of politics, and especially now with the bad economy. But how do you stay positive?
How do I stay positive? I realize that no matter if I have a bad day, I just realize it's a bad day. It's not a bad life. If I just try to look at life a little bit differently from a different scope, take a step back, realize that some of my most happiest days of my life I haven't experienced yet. And knowing that, having that kind of outlook really gives me something to look forward to.
What if you make a mistake and you made a mistake, but you don't want to say sorry?
Well, no one wants to say sorry, but that's part about being an accountable person. For me, character counts, and the biggest motivation for me is the man in the mirror. I always have to be someone I have to be able to respect at all times.
Yeah. Recently I was working and I let somebody into the male's bathroom because there was a huge line in the female's bathroom, and they really wanted to go to the bathroom, and there was another security guard that said no, they can't come in, and I let them through because I felt like that was the right thing to do. And she approached me and she said, "Why did you do that? We're supposed to be in one team, we're securities. What we do, we're supposed to work together." And instead of me just like saying, screw you, like I do what I want, you can't tell me anything, I just simply apologized. I said, "I'm sorry." I'm sorry. And I felt like when I said that, like there was like this, you know, the burden was lifted. And she looked at me with respect, you know, because she's like, okay, I understand. Thank you for apologizing. And that was that, you know. So it took a lot of pride from me to just do the simple thing and just apologize. Mm-hmm. But in that moment, it made the total difference. Because if I was, you know, if I had an ego or whatever, it would have made the situation worse. And I probably could have gotten in some really, really bad trouble. So yeah, I don't know. You saying that just reminded me of that.
Oh yeah, you see people all the time who don't have the right manners, right social skills, and they lose their temper, their pride or ego gets challenged in public, and they just don't know how to use their words in a respectful way. And no one wants to be like that person. I don't strive to be like that person. I feel like whenever I see that, they make themselves look really bad. But it's entertainment for me, you know. It makes me laugh. I find the humor in a lot of things. So, but I try to learn from them.
Right.
Try not to emulate that, and of course, keep people around you.
Has there ever been a time where you just lost your fucking shit?
Oh yeah, of course. But even when I lose my shit, I like to be a professional. You know, used to have a little personality conflicts with people at work, and back in the day, I used to just try to keep the peace, just kind of take the hits, take the jabs on the face, and not do anything back.
What gets you like fucking just over the top pissed? If anything, what pisses you off?
Bad drivers, like slow drivers. Like if I'm in the car, if I may feel like I feel I need to take over. Like I feel more confident with me driving for our lives than with you. It's hard for me to stay quiet and not say anything because you expect me to just die quietly. Like no, I'm gonna speak up about. If I could have avoided the situation, I'm gonna say something.
Yeah, I feel like driving brings out the worst in a lot of good people. Mm-hmm. So I actually don't drive because I feel like having a car is like having a home, and you're constantly having to invest in it, take care of it, and I just don't want to deal with it. And plus, I know that I might be a good driver, but everybody else on the road might not be. So knowing all that, I'm just like, fuck this shit. I am not gonna drive. So I feel with one less bad driver, me being on the road makes this world just 0.5% better.
Well, we need more people like you, Jeanette.
Thank you. 2035, I'm running for president. Will you vote?
Will I
vote for me? Yeah.
Will you be running as?
The United States of America president.
Whose party are you going to be
elected for? I don't know.
Oh, so this is
a make believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Would you vote for me? I'll say Green Party.
I can't vote for you until I know your policies.
Shit.
You seem like a good person, genuine, but you know I would need to know more about.
Okay, give me
you're fighting for.
Okay, give me a good year to come up with it. Okay, and then
for one, there's no election year in 35.
I just made it up. Run with it.
Threw me off with the question.
I think Trump is taking over, and I don't think there will be any more presidents. So I might just never have the opportunity.
Yeah.
You can live with that?
Well, I agree with what you said that Trump may be one of the last presidents.
You do? Oh shit, that's unpopular opinion.
It's not necessarily something I so believe. It's like a kind of like a conspiracy thing you have would kind of believe this. Mm-hmm. Information has been given to me by someone who really believes this stuff.
You're gonna get the FBI coming after me, and I'm already half paranoid as it is. You are revealing too much.
And just all the correlations with Simpson, I just have to just wait and see until some of these predictions kind of play out.
The Simpsons know what's going on. Everything they predict has been true so far.
Yeah. I don't really watch the show either.
Me neither. But I used to when I was younger. It was the thing to watch. Mm-hmm. Do they have new episodes? Is it still a thing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What the show I really watched was partial to back then was South Park, and
South
they
Park.
still make episodes, and I love how
Do they still?
The kids never age. They're still the same fourth graders, and they keep up with current events. So like the COVID pandemic series, like I love how they make fun of.
It still holds up really well
popular
today
culture
compared to like Family Guy or The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not a big anime kind of person. I'm just not. Like I need not action, but I need some kind of send me into another world type of entertainment. Hallmark. I need a Hallmark type of. What are you guys laughing at, motherfuckers?
For like in theaters or in your own home?
Watching TV.
For like watching TV?
Yeah, watching TV.
Okay.
They're laughing at me and I don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
I should throw this at them.
When you said Hallmark, that was the funny thing.
What's wrong with Hallmark? They have some cool ass shows in there sometimes. Right?
I'm not sure. Hallmark is like love stories, right? Like romantic comedy or something. I mean, yeah, romantic comedies are pretty funny and entertaining.
I mean, comedies are a whole... They're hard to write.
Yeah.
They're hard to write because even if I'm funny in life, in writing is a whole nother story. Yeah.
Being a comedian is no easy task. I was a little bit of a class clown back in the day, but I've never considered it. Would never.
Are you funny or are you sarcastic?
I don't know. People find me entertaining sometimes, but I just think that my expressions really catch people off guard. I'm really expressive. It's hard for me to hide my emotions sometimes.
Me too. I feel too much. Mm-hmm. I am too emotional.
Which is why I would never watch like a drama, like a sad movie in theaters again. I made that mistake one time.
Oh, really? Okay.
And, I seen Marley and Me in theaters. That was a hard one. I would never do that again.
It's about a dog, right?
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
Does that mean you have pets?
Yeah,
you have a doggy. You have doggy that you miss.
Dog, cats. Yeah, you got loved ones, family members that made
again. Fucking grief. I'm writing a document. I'm doing a documentary on grief, and it always comes up in my life when I'm talking or doing podcasts or making films. So I feel like grief is a big subject, and I need to save the world. I need this documentary to do well and people to see it because it's a message that people need to hear on grief.
And what have you learned on grief? Like, what can you share with the people that...
Well, you got to watch the documentary.
Okay. No hooks, no trailers to get me interested into it. Usually in film, that's what people do. They make trailers to add some interest to market.
I can't make you a trailer right here, right now, though. But I will have a trailer, and I'll have sneakaboos, and I'll have all types of stuff for you to watch.
Sneakaboos?
Okay. Copies.
No, I don't want to get into it because I'll start getting emotional, and I don't want to get emotional, and I don't want to get you emotional. Nobody wants to be emotional. We want to be happy. We're on the podcast in my world, you guys. We don't want to be sad. So maybe I'll have it screened in a theater, and you can come watch, and we'll hold each other's hands and cry together, because that's what this world needs. We need to cry together and be united. I really believe in my work that I do.
I prefer to cry solo.
Oh, damn. You're a fucking guy. Damn. Okay. Well, then maybe I'll have a private screening for you somewhere so you could watch it by yourself and cry alone. Maybe you won't even cry. Maybe I won't even get you to cry, but that's the goal.
Maybe it'll make me laugh, because sometimes the horror movies make me laugh. I think it's funny.
You sick motherfucker. You are a psychopath.
No, I just think it's funny for other people's reactions. That makes me laugh. And I do like the feeling of being scared. I like to face my fears.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of heights. So my job for the last 4 or 5 years made me much more capable of not letting my fears control me. And that's really important.
I feel like everybody's scared of heights. I'm fucking scared of heights. But I don't show it.
But you work here on the floor. How come you don't work on the roof?
Oh, fuck that.
You don't do the podcast on the roof. You don't think that'll draw in some members?
Maybe, however, I don't own these apartments, and they might not like that.
Probably.
Because I don't want to show too much attention to the public.
Mm-hmm.
It would create chaos.
Got it.
Maybe on top of the lemon tree, we could work on that. We could work on the lemon tree. Maybe. I didn't choose the second floor because, one, I'm lazy and I don't want to walk down, I don't walk down the steps. But I would live on top of the second floor, even if I'm scared of heights.
You don't want to live on the second floor. I mean, it's much more better on the first for convenience, carrying anything big, heavy furniture. And
no, I'm a loud ass bitch, and if I step loud, I want the whole fucking apartment complex to hear that I'm here. Because that's what I have to put up with. They're loud ass motherfuckers. Music bumping, man. Like, they don't even understand how, like, sometimes sharing a fucking roof, even if it's not in the same roof, is annoying.
Yeah, having neighbors that are too close to each other, walls too thin, could be a problem. And definitely that's the reason why I prefer to be on the floor.
Together? Never mind. It's going down a nasty road. Anyway, did you ever answer on what is the hardest thing you have faced in your career or personal?
Hardest thing I probably faced, is actually a fear that it was like almost came to fruition. My biggest fear was having a problem, personality conflicts with someone on the roof who was not able to handle their temperature, handle their temper better. The temperature or their temper. And what we do working up there is already dangerous enough. Last thing I need is some hostile
motherfucker on
right
your face.
In front of me, like who
would you have fucking just.
Well, I know what I would have done, and I was prepared for it. So I had a confrontation with him when he got off the roof.
Off the roof, not during the roof.
Oh, I knew that he wasn't really. I kind of could read him like a book and knew that he wasn't going to handle it really well. Mm-hmm. So I waited for him to get onto the floor.
Because we're fucking scared.
Well, it's not that I'm fucking scared. It's just
no, not of him, of heights. Not of him.
If I do anything, I'd much rather be here on the floor, right, where he,
You think logically. You don't let the emotions.
He has a mother as well.
Right.
I'm assuming. I assume everyone has family members, people that care about I may not give a shit about the guy, but someone may like him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so when I did confront him when he got off the roof, exactly what I had feared would happen happened. He just doesn't know how to control himself. Luckily, I was prepared, and there was never a problem after that.
Would you have an issue if I wrote about this? Like, I never thought about people fighting on top of a roof, so I'm gonna make that a thing.
Well, that's the biggest fear for me. I mean, yeah, it's not one I've ever considered before joining this trade. Mm-hmm. But when you're working with crews, you hopefully want to work with people you like and work with. But even if I don't like you, doesn't mean that I can't work with you. We're here to do a job. I don't need to be your best friend. But he was
makes
really
harder.
abrasive.
It makes it harder. Yeah.
He was really kind of hard to get along with. He would kind of feel like go out of his way to ruin someone's day, and that didn't sit right with me. Is
it because you were a pretty boy? Do you think he was jealous of you?
We were in the same position. He was supposed to be I was kind of new to that company at the time, and he was supposed to be showing me the position. But he was just kicking his feet up, you're here to work here, right? You think I'm here to do everything for you?
He just lacked work ethic.
And was
just a bad person.
I just mouthed it off really too. Kind of just hard to work with someone who's really disrespectful. Okay. Well, we got to tap into the psychology of this, There might have been intimidated. I was the new guy.
Right.
Pretty good position that people look up to.
Yeah. So there could only be one man, right? Well, according to him. To you, you're like, I don't give a fuck.
Usually, yeah, there is only one. But for our case, while I was being new and being shown the ropes, where this is, where that is, what we're going to be doing, who this person is, kind of meeting everyone. For that brief amount of time, there was two of us. But it wasn't a happy time because he wasn't a good teacher, he just wasn't a good person, and eventually issues boiled over because
If he was here on the podcast, and you could say just one thing to him, what would you say?
Why are you so quiet right now? You lost your fire.
All right. Last question before I head out, or you head out,
Okay.
or we could both head out. I don't know. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes. I believe they're here. I actually believe they've actually been in contact with the governments, not just our own, but others.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a couple different species of them. But the governments, for whatever reason, I believe they think that it would draw too much panic in the crowd, the public, so they keep things secret from us.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be more a government that's more transparent, but we all could hope, right?
It's funny because
Hope for a better
the
future.
the government is us, is people. The people working the government is people like us, right? So it's like, I don't know.
Well, what do you have any common with anyone that's working over there right now? How are they? How could you say they're like us? But what do you have in common with them besides that?
That we're
You're
human.
Besides you're human, and you guys both have eyes, noses,
And being in
heartbeats.
this planet at the same time, motherfucking nothing. Motherfucking nothing. But I know this much. I know you shit, I know you eat, and I know you breathe. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then at the same time we're not equal, right? We're not the same. But we are.
It doesn't feel that way sometimes.
It does feel that way or it does not feel that way?
It doesn't. Like, there's a lot of equalities here, and we're blessed to be here. But there are times and opportunities when, people with higher influence, higher powers could do things that we cannot.
Right.
And get away with things we cannot. Or just because, maybe you're in that field, maybe you could get away with doing things that normal people would not get away with, and your people will have your back. Unfortunately, I've seen stuff like that happen too.
What?
Cover-ups.
Serious ones?
I mean, not enough to where like lives are taken or anything like that, but just enough that, the people who are in the uniforms who you would think would uphold it, you'd expect transparency and honesty from them to know that they're the ones manifesting issues.
Mm-hmm.
Could be, it's a big problem that will eventually boil over, I believe.
How do you hold people accountable? Should we hold people accountable?
I think we should hold people accountable. It starts with admitting that there is a problem and not just hiding away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if no one's able to really look at themselves in the mirror and change what's wrong with them, how, those are the people that are also looking at everyone else and seeing what's wrong with the world. I try to keep my mouth shut about what's wrong with everyone else around me because I'm not perfect. I got a lot of things I need to work on myself. So that's what I'm going to focus on.
Can you give me one advice to keep my mouth shut? I run my mouth too much. What would you advise me?
Perspective is really important. I saw it in a movie once where a guy was like looking at a watch, and that was his most valuable possession to him because no matter if you're really rich or really poor, like the time is the same.
Mm-hmm.
So he had that watch when he was in poverty, it was his most valuable possession. And in that movie or series, he made it to a really successful man. We had millions in properties and everything. And that was the thing that he would always look to make sure he wouldn't get too high, too low, keep him at a nice balance.
Do you have anything in your life that keeps you balanced?
My inner circle, my family, I'm blessed to have good families that, money is not an issue. Like, we're not greedy. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be, of course we all want to be like successful. You'd like to be wealthy and stuff like that. But my wealth is going to come from my family, like the family unit that I have. I'm not interested in being like rich like that. I would much rather be happy.
Right.
And I think we would all much rather be happy, be around each other, and stay in contact and make plans and go camping trips. And that's what's important. You know, the connections you have. Doesn't matter if you're at the lowest of the totem pole or the top. You know, your friends and your family, those are everyone's most valuable assets, in my opinion. Things that make us us.
Right. Like who's going to be there when you do, you know, take your last breath, if anything. Right?
Well, I hope when I take my last breath, I get to see my grandma again.
Yeah. Is that who you miss?
That's what I miss the most, yes. That was the biggest grief, biggest obstacle I think I had to deal with in my life.
Yeah. Were you close to her?
Very.
What's one thing that you remember about her that's like, that's my grandma?
She was the most independent person I know. When she oil change her car, she would change her own tires.
Really?
She would really go out of her way to do everything herself. It was really a lot for her to ask for help.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It's a pride thing. It's a woman thing.
Yeah, she likes to be independent, and
that's cool that she would change her own car oil and stuff, where women are typically notoriously known for not taking care of their cars, because it's true.
she was a really tough woman, and she taught me a lot.
Yeah. Strong, independent grandma. Cool. I love that. My grandma is strong and independent. She's still alive. But yeah, strong woman. You used to being around strong women? I
prefer a strong woman in my life. You need someone strong enough to kind of handle all the ins and outs of my life.
Right. You said you were unique, or you have a unique personality. What would you say makes you unique?
Well, coming into this podcast blind, not really knowing what to expect, I thought it would be kind of a fun, unique experience. I think me coming here, knowing everything already, what kind of questions, what was going to happen, might have taken away from the podcast.
Right. I hope I didn't let you down. I hope you're enjoying yourself.
It's a conversation, and it's just my first time experiencing this. It's weird to be on the other side of the camera. You're not the one enjoying it.
Yeah. Keep going. You might end up having a future.
Is there anything that you were surprised about the man who walked through your door this morning?
I was just worried about my safety. That's it. I don't care about what you look like or what you do. I just want to make sure that I'm safe.
Yeah, when I got accepted, I didn't know. I was like, is that it? Like,
Because I'm trying to build a community, and a community comes in different shapes, sizes, and looks, and I want to be open to all that. Despite anything, I just worry about my safety.
Of course.
Either way, because you just never know where people might be mentally.
Well, you were so concerned about your safety. No one ever patted me down.
Because I'm not there yet. I am also accompanied by a strong, independent man over there. And if anything were to go down, I hope that they have my back. So.
Well, you guys seem all really close and you guys are good friends. I think they would definitely have your back.
Hopefully. You never know. They'll probably just run and leave my ass here.
I wouldn't doubt it. I think they'd be right here. Making sure everyone gets out okay.
Thank you that you at least have faith in them. Famous last words before we head out?
I wish I had something more profound. Just take things day by day. Little by little, we'll get there. Work towards your goals, work towards your dreams. Rome wasn't built in a day, so just remember that. Day by day.
Where can they find you?
Or
do you not want to be found?
What do you mean?
Like on social media?
Oh, I really am not the biggest social media person. I guess if you wanted to find me, can I give you my Instagram handle or something?
Yeah, go for it.
CQ_queso.
Queso.
Queso was a
dip.
Queso was a nickname I got.
Okay.
It actually,
No judgment.
so it's funny. Once upon a time, different time in my life, people actually didn't know my name. People thought my name was Queso. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, it works. It works, right? Queso.
Mhm.
Fresh.
Story for another time.
Anyway, subscribe to him. Subscribe to us. Thank you for watching. And you've been grinded on? I don't know. The grind.
Okay.
Okay, let's cut it.